Let your focus be on you every day, the Stoic path to peace. There comes a moment when you realize you've been living a version of yourself that no longer fits. Maybe it once protected you, maybe it once worked, but now it feels like wearing shoes a size too small. The world tells you to fix yourself with more hacks, more noise, more endless chasing. But the Stoics whisper a different truth. Peace doesn't come from adding, it comes from subtracting. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about removing everything that isn't you until what's left is clear, calm, and unshakable. Tonight, we walk the Stoic path. 25 timeless lessons to help you focus on you, rebuild from the inside out, and finally, live with strength, clarity, and peace every single day. Stay with me, because the version of you you've been waiting for isn't out there. It's already here, hidden under the noise, waiting for you to choose it. Hook. Picture your mind like a subway car at rush hour. Every email is a shoulder bump. Every breaking news alert is another body squeezing in. By evening, you're pressed against the glass, wondering why a life you supposedly chose feels so suffocating. The Stoics whisper, you don't have to fight the whole crowd. You don't have to kick anyone off the train. You only have to look down at the small square of floor where your feet already stand. Own that square, guard it, and suddenly the chaos loses its grip. That's the power of focus. And that's where the Stoic path begins. Section 1. The dichotomy of control. 0. 5. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Read that again, slower. Your thoughts are home turf. The weather, the traffic, your boss's mood, those are tourists. They can pass through, but they don't get the keys. Most of us do the opposite. We hand our peace to red lights, to rude emails, to a stranger's opinion. No wonder life feels like a tug of war we never asked to play. Here's the Stoic drill. When the phone buzzes, pause and ask, is this mine to steer or just to notice? If it's yours, take action. If it's not, exhale. Let it drift past like a cloud over a castle wall. Do this 5 times a day and you'll feel the shift. Your mind stays calm even while the world thrashes around you. Because peace isn't won by controlling others. It's won by mastering the only battlefield that's truly yours, your own response. Section 2. Morning Stoic Journaling. Seneca began his mornings not with noise, but with questions, short, sharp reminders that shaped his entire day. You can steal his template. 3 questions, 90 seconds. 1. I will not react angrily to the slow driver, the co-worker's tone, the kid's tantrum. 2. Today I'll practice the virtue of patience, honesty without sarcasm, courage in a hard conversation. 3. I'm ready to lose. A client, an argument, the fantasy of being right every time. Write them down before you open your phone. It's a quick tune-up before you hand the wheel of your day to anyone else. Because the truth is this, if you don't give your mind its orders first thing in the morning, the world will happily assign you its chaos. Section 3. Premeditatio malorum. The Stoics practiced what they called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of misfortune. It wasn't pessimism, it was armor. While the coffee's still hot, imagine the day sliding sideways. The pitch tanks, the train stalls. The text starts with, we need to talk. Let yourself feel the pinch for 10 seconds. Notice the anxiety that rises. Then remind yourself, even if all of that happens, you still have reason, breath, and choice. Here's your drill. Every morning, picture one thing going wrong today. Just one. Then answer, what will still be mine to control? When life does derail and it will. Your mind shrugs and says, "We rehearsed this." Instead of panic, you find poise. Instead of collapse, you find calm. And that calm is what makes you unshakable when others fall apart. Section 4. Prosoch. Continuous mindfulness. Prosoch, continuous attention, was the Stoics' version of mindfulness. But it wasn't incense and cushions. It was a bodyguard scanning the horizon for trouble. Here's how you practice it. Pick a trigger that happens often. Every doorway you walk through. Every time you stand up from your chair. Every sip of water. Each time, ask silently, what emotion is driving me right now? That 1-second check stitches your day into a single thread instead of 1,000 reactions. Drill. Choose just one trigger and use it today. Maybe it's every time you check your watch. Every glance becomes a mini reset, pulling you back into awareness instead of autopilot. Because discipline isn't one grand gesture. It's 1,000 tiny moments of noticing before they become mistakes. Section 5. Evening reflection. The Stoics ended their day the way warriors clean their armor. Quiet inspection, not judgment. Sit on the edge of your bed before the light goes out and ask yourself 3 simple questions. 1. What did I truly have to do today? 2. Where did I overextend myself? 3. How did I treat people when no one was watching or praising me? Answer in 3 short sentences. No essays, no excuses. This is not about guilt, it's about clarity. When you see where you drifted, you know exactly where to aim tomorrow. Drill. Keep a notebook on your nightstand. Write your answers in under 2 minutes. Then, sleep. Reflection turns sleep into an update, not an escape. And tomorrow you wake with a map, not a fog. Section 6. Gratitude countdown. Gratitude to the Stoics wasn't about forced cheerfulness, it was honest bookkeeping, counting what's real instead of chasing what's missing. Here's the practice. Before sleep, hold up your hand and count down 5 things you're glad exist, 1 for each finger. Isvai, the roof above you. The friend who answered at 2 a.m. The lungs that never asked permission to breathe. The food that carried you through the day. The fact that you got one more sunrise. It doesn't erase pain, but it balances the ledger. And when the mind remembers abundance, it stops inventing imaginary debt. Drill. Try it for 7 nights straight. You'll notice stress softens, sleep deepens, and even ordinary mornings feel like bonus rounds. Section 7. Voluntary discomfort. The Stoics knew that comfort breeds fragility. Seneca slept on the floor some nights just to remind himself, I can endure this. We live in a world that sells comfort as a necessity. Climate control at a button, food delivered in minutes, entertainment without pause. Then, when life punches hard, people break because they never practiced being uncomfortable. Drill. Once a week, choose one mild hardship on purpose. Take a cold shower. Walk instead of driving. Skip sugar for a day. Leave your phone behind for an hour. Each time you do, your brain learns, I can handle this. The ego shrinks, resilience grows, and comfort stops feeling like a requirement. Because when you've trained with small storms, the big ones don't scare you, they prepare you. Section 8. Environment audit. Epictetus warned, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you. Your environment is always shaping you, whether you notice or not. Every app you open, every object on your desk, every person in your circle, each one is quietly training your mind. Some sharpen you, others drain you. Drill. Once a month, run a quick audit. Apps that make you mean, delete. Objects that nag or clutter, donate. Relationships that drain without giving, set a boundary. Think of it as tending a garden. Pull the weeds, water the roots. Your mind is soil, and the harvest depends on what you allow to grow around you. When you curate your environment with care, discipline stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like the natural air you breathe. Section 9. The Rule of Ascent. Every day, impressions crash into your mind: headlines, insults, compliments, temptations. The Stoics taught a rule for dealing with them: assent only after inspection. Drill. Give each impression a 2-second pause. Ask 3 questions. 1. Is this true? 2. Is this useful? 3. Is this even mine to carry? Most impressions flunk at least 2 questions. The insult wasn't accurate, the gossip isn't useful, the headline isn't yours to fix, and once they fail, they dissolve before renting space in your head. Without the pause, every impression controls you. With the pause, you decide which ones deserve entry. The Stoics weren't cold, they were careful. They knew peace isn't about hiding from the world. It's about filtering the world so it doesn't own you. Section 10. Focused work blocks. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he carved out time for deep, undisturbed focus. If he could, so can you. Here's the Stoic rhythm: 25 minutes of full attention on one task. No phone, no tabs, no multitasking. Then 5 minutes away, stretch, breathe, step outside. Repeat this cycle 4 times. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary in a world addicted to distraction. Most people confuse being busy with being effective. The Stoic knows the difference. Energy scattered achieves little. Energy concentrated moves empires. Drill. Tomorrow, protect just 1 2-hour block. Choose your most important task and give it the same reverence you'd give a king's order. When interruptions come, and they will say, "Not now, I'm committed." Because focused time isn't a luxury. It's the forge where progress is hammered into existence. Section 11. Empathy without absorption. The Stoics taught compassion, but they also taught boundaries. Feeling with people is strength. Drowning in their storms is weakness. When a friend unloads their pain, imagine yourself as the dock, not the wave. You hold steady. You let them tie up for a while, rest, and breathe. But you don't sink with them. Drill. The next time someone vents, silently remind yourself, this is theirs. I can listen fully without carrying it home. Compassion without boundaries burns you out. Boundaries without compassion make you cold. Stoicism is the middle path. Empathy that heals without absorption that destroys. Because true strength isn't hardening your heart. It's keeping it open without letting it get washed away. Section 12. Self-talk redraft. The harshest critic most of us will ever face lives inside our own head. One mistake, and the voice mutters, "I'm such an idiot." The Stoics knew that words shape character. If you speak to yourself like an enemy, you'll live like one. Here's the drill. The next time that voice spits poison, pause. Hold the sentence like a hot coal. Then drop it. Rewrite it in real time. Instead of, "I'm a failure," say, "That choice was off. My next move can be better." Instead of, "I'll never get this right," say, "I haven't yet, but I'm still in the fight." White, intim. Notice what happens. Identity stays intact. Only the action gets corrected. The Stoic doesn't deny mistakes. He simply refuses to chain them to his worth. Section 13. The view from above. Marcus Aurelius often practiced zooming out, imagining himself high above the earth, looking down at cities, nations, and all of human life, moving like ants. From that altitude, yesterday's insult is a speck. Today's worry is a grain of dust. The ego shrinks, and perspective returns. Drill. Close your eyes and take a mental flight. See your street, your city, your country. the planet itself. Ask, in 10 years, will this problem matter? In 100, will it even be remembered? Most of what consumes us won't even survive the week. The Stoics knew that. And when you see your life from above, the noise falls silent, and only what truly matters stays in focus. Perspective doesn't erase responsibility. It simply frees you from being crushed under the weight of the trivial. Section 14. Silence Sabbaths. The modern world is loud by design: notifications, small talk, endless commentary. But the Stoics knew silence is not emptiness, it's strength. 1 waking hour each week. Take a silent Sabbath. No words out loud, no words on a screen, no filling the air just to fill it. At first, it feels uncomfortable, like you've lost a limb. But slowly, something happens. The mind remembers its own voice. Drill. Pick 1 hour this week. Turn off your phone. No music, no chatter. Just be with yourself. Walk, breathe, or sit in stillness. Silence is not absence, it's presence. It's the quiet forge where clarity is hammered into shape. The world will always try to drown you in noise. A Stoic learns to swim in silence. Section 15. Physical anchors. The Stoics treated the body as a training partner for the mind. Every movement was a chance to practice presence. You don't need a gym or hours of free time. You need attention. 1 honest push-up, feeling the ground beneath you. 1 slow squat, noticing balance and breath. 1 deliberate walk, every step a reminder. I am here, now. Drill. Today, anchor 1 physical act with full awareness. Don't rush it. Let your mind watch the body. Why? Because the body can't lie about the present moment. And when the mind learns to stay with the body, it stops chasing ghosts of the past or phantoms of the future. The body moves, the mind observes. Together, they build unshakable calm. Section 16. The last time meditation. The Stoics often reminded themselves every experience could be the last, not to depress, but to awaken. Hold your morning coffee and whisper, "This might be the last cup I taste." Look at your child and think, "This might be the last bedtime story I tell." Step into the sun and remember, "This could be the last warmth I feel." At first, it feels heavy, but soon the ordinary turns sacred. That sip of coffee becomes richer, that hug lingers longer, that moment feels fuller. Drill. Once a day, choose 1 small act and treat it as if it were the last time. Not with sadness, but with reverence. Because when the last time does come, and it will, you'll know you didn't sleepwalk through the gift of living. You noticed. You were present. You lived awake. Section 17. Value clarification. The Stoics didn't chase goals for applause. They lived by values, virtues that anchored every choice. Here's the practice. Write down the 5 qualities you'd want carved on your tombstone. Kind, brave, fair, disciplined, wise, or whatever rings true for you. Then, once a week, score yourself 1-10 on each. Quietly. No one else sees the list. Drill. Each Sunday, review your week. Where did you live your values? Where did you fall short? Where can you tighten the gap? When you measure yourself by values, not by likes or dollars, you stop being a puppet of the crowd. Because success isn't what the world hands you. It's living so your actions match the virtues you said mattered most. That's a scoreboard no one can take away. Section 18. The Inner Citadel. Marcus Aurelius called it the retreat within, a fortress no storm could breach, no insult could touch, no failure could collapse. The inner citadel is a mental room you build and return to at will. It can be a steadying phrase, a memory of strength, or a simple candle of purpose you keep lit in your mind. When chaos hits a tense meeting, an argument, a sudden loss, step inside. even with your eyes open, even in the middle of the noise. Breathe and retreat inward. Drill. Today, choose one anchor for your citadel. A phrase like, "This too is training," a memory of a time you endured, a vision of the man you're becoming. Return to it whenever the world claws at you. Because the greatest freedom isn't escaping the storm, it's carrying your shelter inside you. Section 19. Memento Mori Ring. The Stoics carried reminders of death, not to be morbid, but to live awake. Coins etched with skulls. Simple rings. Small objects that whispered, "You could leave life right now. Use this day." We treat time like an endless credit line, but it's a prepaid card with no balance check. Every hour spent is gone forever. Drill. Carry one object as your memento mori. A plain ring, a coin, even a string on your wrist. Every glance becomes a tap on the shoulder. Remember, you don't own tomorrow. At first, it feels strange, but soon, it cuts through procrastination. The phone stays down, the fight seems smaller, the work, the love, the laughter in front of you, it all gets sharper. Death remembered is not life diminished. It's life intensified. Section 20. The second self-exercise. The Stoics often imagined a wiser version of themselves, a guide, a mentor, a second self, watching their choices. Picture an older, calmer you standing just behind your shoulder, when temptation shouts, when anger rises, when laziness whispers. Pause and ask, will this choice make him smile or sigh? That mental distance is powerful. Suddenly, impulse shrinks and perspective grows. Drill. Today, before one decision, big or small, ask your second self for advice. Don't picture a critic. Picture a coach who wants your best. This practice pulls you out of autopilot and into accountability. Because you're no longer just living for now, you're living in service of the man you promised yourself you'd become. Section 21. Social media fast. 0. 5. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish." In today's world, that might mean stepping away from the feed, even if people think you're strange for it. Once a month, log out of social media for a full day. Delete the apps if you have to. The first hours feel twitchy, your hand will reach for the phantom hit. But by evening, you'll notice space where the noise used to be. In that space, forgotten hobbies wave hello, ideas surface, peace creeps back in. Drill. Schedule your fast now, mark the day, tell a friend, and commit. Treat it like a detox, not from people, but from illusions. When you return, you'll see the feed for what it is, entertainment, not nourishment. And you'll remember you are more than a thumb chasing endless scrolls. Section 22. The Stoic pause button. Life hits hard not because events are unbearable, but because we react too fast. The Stoics built in a pause, a gap between impulse and action. Here's a simple way to practice it. Keep a small object in your pocket, a smooth stone, a coin, a ring. Each time your fingers touch it, take one conscious breath. That breath is your pause button. Drill. For 1 week, carry your pause object. Every time frustration, temptation, or fear rises, touch it. Breathe. Wait 2 seconds before you act. Most problems shrink in those 2 seconds. The angry email doesn't get sent. The careless words don't escape. The craving passes. The pause is power. And power doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from mastering the moment before you move. 0. 5. Section 23. Progress Journal. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for the world, but for himself, proof that he was growing, even under pressure. You can do the same. Keep a small notebook titled, "Proof I'm Growing." Each night, write just one line. I held my tongue instead of snapping back. I said no without guilt. I finished what I promised. Over weeks, the pages pile up, and when your inner critic sneers, you never change. You'll have evidence in ink that he's a liar. Drill. Start tonight. One line, no fluff, just proof. Because discipline isn't built by wishing. It's built by stacking small wins until even you can't deny the progress. Section 24. Service without self-abandon. The Stoics believed in serving the common good, but never at the cost of abandoning themselves. Service without limits becomes slavery. Service with wisdom becomes strength. Before you say yes, ask, does this align with my virtues, or is this just my fear of disappointing someone? Drill. This week, pause before every commitment. If the act fits your values, courage, justice, kindness, say yes with your whole heart. If not, step back without guilt. When you give from emptiness, your gift dies fast. When you give from fullness, it sustains others and yourself. Stoic service isn't about being used up. It's about being useful without losing your center. Section 25. The closing ritual. The Stoics ended the day with release, not rumination. They knew tomorrow isn't promised, and tonight deserves peace. Here's the practice. Lights off, hand on your chest, whisper, I have lived today. Tomorrow is not my business yet. Say it slowly. Let the weight of the day drop off your shoulders. Sleep becomes not an escape, but a return. Drill. Tonight, before closing your eyes, repeat the ritual. Let go of the unfinished tasks, the arguments, the noise. They don't belong in your bed. Peace isn't a permanent address. It's a nightly return. And each time you practice, you prove you can end the day with calm, no matter how it began.